Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to the Havdalah service and to Henry's Bar Mitzvah, as we have here on the masks that everyone is wearing. Mazal Tov, Henry. I don't know if you can focus on it with the camera, but it does say clearly Mazal Tov, Henry, so Mazal Tov. And many happy occasions, and hopefully most of them without a mask on us. We begin our service singing together, Hinei Matov Umanaim.
Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Amim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Amim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov, Hinei Matov, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov, Hinei Matov, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Ya la 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 la. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Amim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Amim Gam Yachad. Hinei Matov Umanaim, Shevet Amim Gam Yachad.
Please turn to page 2 and rise for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai, to whom praise is due now and forever.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamivorach, Hamivorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamivorach, Le'olam, Le'olam va'ed. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due. Praised be the one to whom our praise is due, now and forever. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvunach mashane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakohavim, b'mishmerotechem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom valayla, golel or mipnei hoshech, v'hoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom uvein laila, umavdil bein yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo. El Chai v'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael. Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. Ve'ahavta Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'aderech uv'shofbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam la'ot al yadecha v'chayu latotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Leman tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim le'elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzei etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lihyot lachem le'elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding
and respect. The song
of God's miracles,
an
earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Mi kamocha va'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, oseh pele, mi kamocha va'elim Adonai.
rise and turn for the tefillah and turn to page 6.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agitei latecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei, Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem Lama'an Shemo Ba'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Source of all being, we turn to you as did our people in ancient days. They beheld you in the heavens, they felt you in their hearts, they sought you in their lives. Their quest is ours. Help us to see the wonder of being. Give us the courage to search for truth. Teach us the path to a better life. So shall we, by our lives and our labors, bring nearer the world we envision, one of justice, freedom, and peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. We read together on page 7. You are the open door that beckons me in. Peeking around the door frame, I begin to enter into your glory. You move me forward, O Eternal, to step beyond self-made boundaries. Lift my foot over the thresholds that I might abide with you. In the house of the Eternal, I found my questions. Waiting to be posed, they filled me with wonder. Sit with me, eternal teacher. Encourage my seeking. As I fill my hours with your mitzvot, so shall I be filled. Send me through your door, stretching up to honor your name, sharing out this wonder, enriching myself in the giving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol.
Nikadesh et Shemcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכינו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. Mikarishi shivi Shabbat, kulam yisbiu v'dangu miduvecha Shabbat. Yismeku b'malikutecha, shomri 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 Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismeku b'malikutecha, shomri 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 Shabbat, v'korei oneg Shabbat. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חילות יומי אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. למעשה בראשית שבת, למעשה בראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת.
And we turn to page 10. We read together at the bottom of page 10 the blessing for Shalom. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
שלום רב לישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. שלום רב לישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tazim Le'olam V'tov B'einecha Livarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tazim Le'olam Shalom Ra Yisrael Amcha Tazim Le'olam Tazim Le'olam Tazim
We all need healing and courage and strength in our lives, in the life of everyone that is dear to us. The Misha Berach, the prayer asking for healing and strength and courage, is on page 11.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
We're now going to Seder Kriyat Torah, the order of reading from the Torah. Henry will start with the prayer for becoming a bar mitzvah, which is just before the first aliyah with both sets of grandparents, but first the blessing of becoming a bar mitzvah.
Our God and God of our ancestors, I stand before this sacred assembly, proclaiming that I choose to be a part of the people of Israel, a part of its heritage and its fate, bound by its commandments. Give me strength to follow your path and to be a source of pride to my family, my community, and my people. How greatly we are blessed, how good is our portion, and how pleasant our lot, and how beautiful our heritage. Blessed we are, and we sanctify your name and declare, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
And please introduce your Torah portion.
Our Torah portion is taken from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verses 1 through 10.
And I would ask the two sets of grandparents to please rise for your aliyah. And please lead us with the aliyah. It's on page 14 in our prayer books. Go ahead.
Et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim. Natanu Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
And you can follow the reading in the handouts that you have in the white handouts. The reading is both in Hebrew and in English from the Torah. Please, Henry, your first aliyah. You have to uncover the Torah for that. And now the blessing after, the grandparents.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'haye olam natan b'sohenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And the parents for the second aliyah, please.
Baruch hu et Adonai havarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch atah havarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'dibru hashorim el ha'am lemor michaish asher nata bait chadash v'lo chanacho yelech v'yashov lebeto pen yamut b'milchama v'ish acher yachnachenu u'michaish asher nata kerem v'lo hilo yelech v'yashov lebeto pen yamut b'milchama v'ish acher yahilenu u'michaish asher eras isha v'lo lekacha yelech v'yashov lebeto pen yamut b'milchama v'ish acher yigahena.
Now the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'haye olam natan b'totenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And Henry, now you're saying your aliyah. Don't go away, Leo. He still needs you.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
V'yashvu hashorim l'daber el ha'am v'amru michaish hayarei v'rach halivav yelech v'yashov lebeto ve'lo yimas et lavav echav kilvavo v'chaya kikalata hashorim l'daber el ha'am ufakdu tzarei tzvaot berosh ha'am ki tigrav el ir lihilahem alecha v'karata alecha l'shalom.
And you can follow the translation in the white handouts.
When you go to war against your enemies and see horses and chariots and an army greater than yours, do not be afraid of them, because the Eternal your God, who brought you up out of Egypt, will be with you. When you are about to go into battle, the priest shall come forward and address the army. He shall say, "Hear, Israel, today you are going into battle against your enemies. Do not be faint-hearted or afraid. Do not panic or be terrified by them. For the Eternal your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory." The officers shall say to the army, "Has anyone built a new house and not yet begun to live in it? Let him go home, or may he die in battle, and someone else may begin to live in it. Has anyone planted a vineyard and not yet begun to enjoy it? Let him go home, or may he die in battle, and someone else enjoy it. Has anyone become pledged to a woman and not married her? Let him go home, or may he die in battle, and someone else marry her." Then the officers shall add, "Is anyone afraid or faint-hearted? Let him go home, so that his fellow soldiers will not become disheartened too." When the officers have finished speaking to the army, they shall appoint commanders over it. When you march up to attack a city, make its people an offer of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל. על פי אדוני ביד משה, ביד משה. על פי אדוני ביד משה, ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לבני בני ישראל.
Our Havdalah portion is taken from the book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verses 1 through 9. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratzav divreihem hane'emarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Chabocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nviei ha'emet v'tzedek. Uri, Uri, livshi uzeich, Sion, livshi, bigdei tifarteich. Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, Kilo Yosef, Yavovach Od, Ariel v'Tameh, Hitna Ari Me'afar, Kumi Shavi, Yerushalayim, Hitpatchi Mosrei Tzavarech, Shavia Bat Zion, Kiko Amar Adonai, Chinam Nim Kartem, Velo V'Chesef, Tiga Elu, Kiko Amar Adonai Elohim, Mitzrayim, Yaradami, Barishona, Lagur Sham, Ve'ashur, Be'efes Ashako, Ve'ata Malifo, Ne'um Adonai, Kilukach Ami, Hinam, Moshla v'helilu ne'um Adonai v'tamid kol hayom shemi minawatz. Lachen yeda ami shemi lachen bayom chahu ki anichu chamdaber hineni manavu al chacharim ragle mevaser mashmiya shalom mevaser tov mashmiya Yeshua omer l'tzion malach Elohaich kol tzofayich nasu kol yachdav yiranenu ki ayin ba'ayin yiru b'shuv Adonai tzion pitchu ranenu yachdav chorvo Yerushalayim ki nicham Adonai amo ga'al Yerushalayim.
You can follow the translation in the handout.
Awake, awake. Clothe yourself in strength, O Zion. Array yourself in robes of splendor, O holy city of Jerusalem. Never again shall the uncircumcised and unclean enter you. Shake off the dust and rise up, captive Jerusalem. Strip the chain off your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus says the Lord, as you were sold for nothing, so you shall be redeemed without money. For thus says the Lord, long ago my people went down to dwell in Egypt, and later Assyria oppressed them without cause. Now then, says the Lord, what do I find here? My people are carried off for nothing, their captors howl, but my name revealed continually all through the day. But I will reveal my name to my people, and they will come to know its power. Then at last they will recognize that I am the one who speaks to them. How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of the messenger who brings good news. The good news of peace and salvation, the news that the God of Israel reigns. The watchmen shout and sing with joy, for before their very eyes they see the Eternal returning to Jerusalem. Let the ruins of Jerusalem break into joyful song, for the Eternal has comforted God's people. God has redeemed Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol haolamim, tzadik b'chol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer v'oseh, hamdaber kayem, shekol dvarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavod al tifaret, al hakol Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umvarhim otach, yitbarach shimcha, b'fi kol hai, tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, rock of all creation, righteous one of all generations, the faithful God whose word is deed, whose every command is just and true. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, for the prophets, and for this Shabbat, that you, Adonai our God, have given us for holiness and rest, for honor and glory, we thank and bless you. May your name be blessed for every and by every living being. Praise to you, Adonai, for the Sabbath and its holiness. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you for coming to my bar mitzvah this evening. My Torah portion is very long, so Rabbi David gave me six sections of it to choose from. I picked the section about going to war. My Torah portion is about going to war. It means that God doesn't want you to be afraid because God is on your side and your army is too. If you are afraid, though, then you should not fight, because you will make the others afraid too. You should offer peace to your enemies before attacking, because if they don't want to fight, then you should not kill them. God tells the people not to be afraid because God is on their side. I disagree with what God tells the people. I disagree with this because I think that sometimes fear is a good thing. Fear is what makes us move out of the way of something about to hit us. It is the anxiety that makes us alert. I think we can be afraid of scary things like war and the coronavirus. My Torah portion is like a basketball coach, because they are always encouraging you when you get scored on. If you are playing a team that is taller than you, you should not be afraid because your team is with you, just like an army would be in a war. If you are afraid to play, then the coach will not force you. The coach does not want you to make the team afraid as well. To me, this means that I am allowed to be afraid of scary things. Imagine you were a soldier in a war, and you were against an army that had more technology and better weapons than you. Would you be afraid? I know I would be. War is a scary thing, and I think that you are allowed to be afraid of it. You can die in war. It is okay to be afraid of scary things like war. Now I want you to imagine that you are on the other side of this. Your army has better technology and better weapons. The enemy has almost nothing compared to you. There is no need to kill them if they surrender to you. Do not make them fight a war they do not want to fight. You might be on the other side of this one day and want to surrender. Offer peace to your enemies before war. Reading from the Torah means a lot to me because I have been studying and practicing for a long time. I have waited for this moment for a long time. Being a bar mitzvah means a lot to me because I have worked really hard. Sometimes I got sick of it, but I know it was all worth it in the end. I know working hard was essential to this process of being a bar mitzvah. Being Jewish is difficult because there is a lot of learning and I need to change alphabets from English symbols to Hebrew symbols after a long day at collegiate. You cannot get by without working hard. You need to study and give it 100%. I love being Jewish though. I love it though because the food is great. I have also met a lot of people I probably would not have met without being Jewish. Now for the thank yous. There are a lot of you. Thank you, Mom. You have always been there whenever I need someone to be there for me. You are always there for me for whatever reason I need you. I love you. Thank you, Dad. You are the tech support in the house. I do not know what I would do without you. You also know how to play all the board games. Sorry, Mom. They're a little too complicated for you. Love you, Dad. Thank you, Leo. During the coronavirus, Mom and Dad were always at work. We were the only ones home. Thank you for being there for me and always supporting me when I needed it most. Thank you, Leo. Nana Linda, you make the best matzo ball soup. Whenever I go over to your house, I can always count on any other great food, too. She's really good at cooking. Thanks, Nana, and I love you. Papa Sam, you are very funny and kind. You give great hugs. I love spending time with you. Thank you, Papa. I love you. Nana Martha, you are also really good at cooking. You know how to make any cookie on the face of the planet. When I come over, I can count on some good cookies. Thanks, Nana, and I love you. Papa Peter, you take a lot of pictures and videos. I love looking back on them and hearing their stories. I also like going on adventures with you. Thank you, Papa. I love you. Thank you to all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins. There are a lot of you, so I will do this as one big thank you. Thank you to all of my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Once a year, I get to see you, but when you do come in town, I try to savor every moment of you being here. I love you. Thank you to all of the rabbis and teachers that helped me through this process. I learned so much from all of you. Thank you for all of the Hebrew and Judaica lessons. I appreciate all of your hard work in teaching me. Thank you to all of my friends from collegiate and from the temple for being there for me whenever I needed someone to talk to. The Waitman Advisory was the best. I'm a waffle warlord for life. Thank you all for coming to my bar mitzvah tonight. I appreciate your time listening to my speech. Your turn.
Henry, we're so proud of you. You've done a magnificent job today. You studied, practiced, and prepared for today amid all the craziness going on in the world, and you have remained focused and determined the entire time. We're so proud of you, but more importantly, you should be proud of yourself. You've never shied away from a challenge, and preparing for today is no exception. You balanced schoolwork, sports, and Hebrew studies with ease. You could often be heard spontaneously chanting parts of your Torah portion at home. Your enthusiasm for learning about your Jewish heritage is a beautiful thing. You have made us so proud. Your grandparents are beaming, and your great-grandparents are looking down on you now with such pride. Now, you may not always do things the way others would. You've become quite good at questioning why things are a certain way. You always want to explore some other, perhaps more obscure, less mainstream way. Sometimes it seems your questions are never ending. Please don't ever stop questioning and pursuing your curiosities and your quest for knowledge. Watching you prepare for this day, practicing your prayers, your Torah and Havdalah, pursuing your service project has been a giant ray of sunshine for Daddy and me. You collected 300 pounds of shoes for water step. Way to go. You have a wonderful drive to succeed, and you balance it beautifully with your go-with-the-flow attitude. You always try to see the positive side of things. You make the best of things when you're thrown a curveball, and that's very admirable. We know this isn't the way you planned to have your bar mitzvah. There are people watching virtually that we would have preferred to be here in person, but I'm sure you have wowed everyone watching. I know you've wowed all of us. You're amazing. Congratulations, and we love you.
Henry, just over 13 years ago, your mom and I finished our medical training and moved back to Louisville. Just 2 weeks after I moved home, you were born. As such, you're literally the physical embodiment of my time in practice. It's hard to believe that time has flown by so fast. 13 years ago, I could cradle you with one arm, and now you've grown up into a young man. As a parent, I've been constantly amazed and proud at each and every one of your accomplishments. From your first steps, to riding your first bike, to hiking to the top of Mount Washington, New Hampshire. I've always been impressed how diligently you will work until you've completed the task in front of you. This started when you were just a baby. You couldn't stand to have any tower of blocks or cups left intact. You had to knock them all down every time. This diligence has served you in the school from your music award in 5th grade to your 7th grade award in physical education for leadership and academic responsibility. In this time of COVID, social isolation, and distance learning, your mom and I had to ask you and your brother to take on a lot more responsibility suddenly. I've been very proud how you've solidly handled this new burden and managed to excel. I know distance learning hasn't been your favorite, but you've done what you needed to and succeed. I'm looking forward to watching you continue to grow and expand your horizons for years to come. Your great-grandparents, Hai Young and Marjorie Leonard, for whom you were named, would be immensely proud of you and what you've accomplished today. They and all your family, both here and virtually, love you. We are so very proud.
So we now move to the Havdalah service, as Leo is joining his family. You want to pour in the fruit of the vine to the... Usually I help, but...
Some technical difficulties.
It's okay if you don't know how to open a bottle of wine yet.
we shall overcome.
Now, light these candles.
So someone should hold the cup of wine also and Henry, you can start the Havdalah, which can be found on page 21 in your booklets.
Hine el Yeshuati, eftach velo efchad. Ki ozi v'zimrat, ya Adonai, v'hi li lishua, ushavtem mayim besason. Mima ane hashua, la Adonai hashua, al amcha birchatecha selah. Behold the God who gives me triumph. I am confident, unafraid, for Adonai is my strength and might, and has been my deliverance. Joyfully shall you draw water from the fountains of triumph. Deliverance is Adonai's. Your blessing be upon your people. Selah.
Say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Barei pri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Barei minei besamim. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of varied spices. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Barei me'orei ha'esh. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the lights of fire. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil bein kodesh l'chol, bein or l'hoshech, bein Yisrael la'amim, bein yom hashvi'i, l'sheshet yamei hama'aset. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavdil bein kodesh l'chol.
Eliyahu, Eliyahu,
So, Henry, I cannot think of someone who is a better candidate for a COVID-19 bar mitzvah. And this is a compliment. This is not, don't get it the wrong way. The hardest thing about the bat and the bar mitzvah services that we have to do now is that we're used to, as rabbis, to literally hover over the kid, to be there just in case they cannot find the prayer, they cannot find the verse in the Torah, and the thing with the Torah is really scary. I have colleagues that have created a special tool that they can follow from afar to see where the student is in case they have to start to move him, and then they go left, right, whatever. And with Henry, I knew that actually being next to him and hovering over him will actually just be not just redundant, but probably would be making you maybe even nervous because you really don't need it because you are so well prepared. And this is actually embodies how Henry prepared to his bar mitzvah. I mean, he was kind enough to thank the rabbis and the teachers, but actually he more or less did it on his own. He was so much advanced in the class that we didn't know really what to do. So we told him, why won't you go and sit in the side place and write your sermon, which is something that we're supposed to help him and help him again. So by the time that the time actually came for me to work with Henry on his speech, it was already written. I mean, we did a few polishing just that I would feel good that I'm actually a little bit needed there. But he actually prepped on his own. And I know that this is a big surprise for you to hear that about Henry, a shocking truth. But I want to just stress this with another thing. The tutor that worked with Henry towards the end was Carly Schwartz, and she is our longest working tutor. Unfortunately, she went to college now, so we don't have her anymore, but she's been working with students for the past 8 years. So I told her in advance, I said, it's not going to be hard. I mean, he's really prepped. And then she calls and she complains that I didn't warn her. And I said, what do you mean I didn't warn her? And she said, you said he's really prepped, but you didn't say how prepped he is. And then she complained, she said, it's the only student in 8 years that is actually better than she was when she was working for her bar mitzvah. So you really excelled, and it was a real pleasure to work with you. No surprise to your parents, to your family, and to your friend. You're one of the more serious and deep and self-thinking students we ever had here. And my real hope and prayer for you is that you won't change. I mean, I hope that you will change and you will grow and you will evolve, but that seriousness and that ability to set a goal and to work for it, and the fact that you can more or less do it yourself. I mean, you're not only a self-starter, but you need very little guidance and help, at least with Hebrew. Maybe with other things you do need, but at least with Hebrew. So maybe you should think of a vocation that has to do with Hebrew. Carly was thinking of you being a tutor here with Mitzvah students, which would be great for the future. But whatever you choose to do, you're going to be a real gift to every congregation, every society, every workplace that you're going to be. You have not only a great talent and great wisdom, but you have a great work ethic and a great attitude in a very young age. So being a bar mitzvah really fits you. And if one day you decide that the rabbinate is the right vocation, please don't forget to send Rabbi Rapport and me an invitation to the ordination, so we can have some more joy and pride, some more nachat. Before we get to the presents, there is a blessing that I want to bless you. It's the priestly benediction. It's from the Torah, not from your Torah portion, it's from a different book, but it's from the Torah. God is instructing Moses and Aaron to bless our children that way, and we've been blessing our children that way ever since, and it goes like that. Yevarchecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May Adonai our God always guard you and keep you and protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God's face always shine upon you, and may God always deal graciously with you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yishmerecha. May God grant you the most important blessing of all. May God yiten lecha shalom, grant you shalom, peace and wholeness and wellness. And may God's face always be lifted upon you. So may you feel the presence of God in your midst, in all your endeavors, in all that you do. And there are some gifts there for you. And there is another gift that will be presented to you in the future for the Mitzvah project that you've done. But now we're giving you a Torah that has a lot of reading in it, so you can continue to study. And it's Takabaks, so you can continue to do good deeds. It has your name on it in Hebrew and in English, and some certificates to help you along the way. And we want to bless your journey with the closing song, which is also your anthem, Lechilach. May you go your way and become a blessing.
Lechilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechilach, on your journey I will bless you. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, Lechilach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
Shavua Tov, everyone, a good week. And since we're so close to Rosh Hashanah, so also a happy and a good and a healthy and a sweet Shana, New Year, to all of us. And Mazal Tov, Henry, and Henry's family. And hopefully we'll be celebrating Leo's bar mitzvah with no masks on us. Enjoy. Shavua Tov.